Hey everyone! Even though the TwoClan's series is now officially finished, I wanted to make this addition to TwoClan's world. As soon as I saw the shipwreck background, I knew exactly what kind of landscape the clan would be living in. Unfortunately, I never really got the opportunity to show this in the world building of the series, so I'll put it all in this video. First, I'll talk about the camp, then about the territory as a whole, and some of the important landmarks. So let's get into it. We've gotten some looks at TwoClan's camp before during some of the extra scenes in the series. TwoClan's camp is located in a large cove along a cliff coast, and the shipwreck blocks the seaside entrance of the cove. This is an overview sketch of the camp. In the shipwreck we have the leader's den and the nursery, both of which have elevated floors with lots of moss on the inside. The high points beneath which the guests gather for a clan meeting is the bow of the ship. I hope I got that term right. It's this thing. This. Along this side of the cove there is the apprentice den. It was built into a set of bushes with a bit of mast and sill mixed into it. Closest to the camp entrance is the warrior's den. On the other side there's a slightly elevated stone platform on which the elder's den is located. Next to it is the medic den, made in a small cave in the cliff face with extra nesting space in the shrubs outside. The entire camp is positioned at a higher elevation compared to the beach, so salt water only enters the camp at springtide or during floods. Even then, only the lowest part of camp, the clearing, contains shallow pools. The shipwreck is buried into place by rocks and sand, and even during the largest floods, it stays in place. The camp's main entrance is on the inland side. The cove slopes upwards, and fallen rocks make a fairly stable staircase. The entrance is fortified by prickly shrubs. So I like to think that most of the shrubs that I've been talking about are sea buckthorns. These are very prickly silver bushes with bright orange berries. Sea buckthorn usually grows in coastal sands and can, for example, be found in Dutch dunes. In TwoClan's territory, sea buckthorn is found wherever there is a fairly thick layer of sand. Some other plants found around camp are various dune grasses, like marram grass, and some useful herbs the medics planted. Then for the territory itself. I already mentioned the cliff coasts, and yes, the landforms in TwoClan's territory are inspired by cliff coast landscapes. Cliff coasts form when the sea erodes a shore consisting of rock layers. The sea makes the coast retreat by breaking the rocks at the base of the cliff, which makes the rock on top collapse. At the top of the cliffs there's a large grassy platform. So, TwoClan's territory is divided into 4 main sections: the beach, the cliffs, the platforms, and small fens. The beach is the lowest part and is flooded during high tide. On the very edge of the beach, some plants may be present, but it's mostly rocks and sand. Here the cats can fish or hunt seagulls. The cliffs are steep rock faces that divide the beach from the platforms above. TwoClan cats learn to climb these from a young age. There's not a lot of vegetation or prey present on the cliffs, but they are strategically important. The cliffs around camp protect the camp from enemies, and cats can hide at the base of the cliff or surprise enemies on the platforms by climbing the cliffs. The platforms lie above the cliffs. They are grassy with some shrubs and a few rare trees. The platforms are the largest section, and most of the prey is caught in this part of the territory. There are only a few fens in TwoClan's territory, but they are an important herb supply. Fens form when water can't be drained effectively and instead collects in these pools. The plants here are vastly different from the rest of the territory, and the sub-environment is also the most biodiverse spot of the territory. They border SnailClan's territory, which consists entirely out of fens. And, as you may have noticed, there are multiple cliff faces and platform levels. But Gray, how can that be? There's only one ocean. Well, due to changes in sea level and land level, the coastline can shift. So, if the land slowly uplifts over time, combined with the rise and fall of sea level, multiple cliffs and their associated platforms can be formed at multiple levels. This is how marine terraces are formed. This is my favorite part of the territory. I just love landscapes that look like staircases. You have this with rivers and river terraces too, and just look at them. They're amazing. Oh. Like a Minecraft terraces like this, I will put all my faces there. Very jealousy. Anyway. Within the territory there are some interesting and important landmarks. There's a thunder path that runs through the north of the territory and into TwoClan. Along this thunder path, you also have the abandoned two-leg place. In the north, on the border with SnailClan, there are fens. The death tree that burned Robin Spark at one time is located near here too. On the coast, we have the Sea Arch, a rock bridge that extends into the sea. There are several groups of sea stacks nearby as well as some shallow sea caves. Last but not least, there is the ground hole, which is actually the sky hole of the Moon Cave. The actual entrance to this cave is located in TwoClan territory. That was all for TwoClan's territory. I love thinking what kind of landscapes my stories take place in, and I love the stories that the landscapes themselves tell. Histories that are tens of millions of years old. Okay, so maybe this was also an excuse to talk about one of my favorite types of landscapes, and about marine terraces. You've been fooled.